we continue to hear out of the president as well as all these people within the administration that we're going to do a dividend, we're going to do a distribution, something like that. And I'm just saying, if they're going to do it outside of a major economic contraction, it needs to happen before November, which really, there's not that many more months. I know it feels like forever when everybody's struggling financially, but realistically, it's not that many months away as we are here now. And as lawmakers continue to come back and talk about multiple more reconciliation bills within the next year. So they're already talking about that as well. And they alluded to some last year as well. Obviously, a second one never came, but we did get the big tax bill in the summer of last year. That was a reconciliation bill. And they've been talking about 2 more of them to be coming sometime basically between now and about 1 year from right now. So let's see what happens. Anyway, what I want to point out for you really quickly is what the president has indicated and endorsed just in the last 12 months. And realistically, it's actually been even less than a year's time in which all this took place. But I want to point this out because I find it to be very, very interesting. Their ability, their interest in sending us money, however I want to describe this here, basically just their willingness to send and approve and talk about the distribution and money to us in the form of, again, distributions, dividend payments, rebate payments, stimulus, whatever you want to call it. The name does not matter. Anyway, let me walk you through a couple of really quick examples here and just point this out so we can clearly see exactly what has been said and kind of where we are at as of right now. Okay, let's go in chronological order. So about a year ago, in January 20th was Inauguration Day, okay? So that's just a little, point that I want to make really quickly. Okay, and then in February, so like literally a month after the inauguration, we had the $5,000 Doge dividend that came out, right? President came on, he endorsed that right away. Yeah, we're thinking about this $5,000 Doge dividend as a distribution, basically a profit share out of the roughly $2 trillion that Doge was supposed to save. That obviously never happened. They didn't get anywhere close to it. And we even talked about it at the time. I said a few times in videos, I was like, this is a really cool concept. This is very interesting. This is very nice, but it's not going to happen. I mean, it's like a far cry from happening, right? But anyway, that was that. And, it didn't last all that long, but it was fun to talk about and, think about it at the time. That was in February 2025. Now, we had a little bit of a lull. There wasn't a whole lot, but then in the very, very, very end of July, the president indicated, when a reporter asked him, he indicated, we're thinking of a little dividend. We're thinking of sending out a little dividend to people of a certain income. That's all he basically said, okay? And then over that weekend, Senator Josh Hawley wrote up the American Worker Rebate Act of 2025 and formally introduced it, okay? That was in early August. Now, the president said it at the end of July, and it was originally introduced by Josh Hawley. Again, the American Worker Rebate Act of 2025, this $600 rebate payment that they floated, that was introduced in early August, okay? So that was that, $600 rebates. Obviously, the president endorsed that. It was his original idea that prompted that to be formally introduced by the Senator Josh Hawley, okay? That was early August. Now, let's go out to 2 months later, early October. It was October 2nd, okay? President was out in another interview. And in the interview, he was talking about the tariff revenue and all the money that's being brought in, things like that. And then he indicated, we're thinking of a little dividend, a distribution to the people of America. And the host in that interview said, how much are you thinking, sir? And he said, $1,000 to $2,000. That was in early October. Okay, so October 2nd. In fact, I have videos right here on the channel of those clips. I mean, literally every clip that the president has made comments on some type of dividend, distribution, rebate, stimulus, something like that. I have it right here on the channel in dedicated videos. You can scroll back and find it if you want to. Videos are still here on the channel. Okay, so that was in early October. Now, a month later, a little more than a month later, November 9th, the president comes out yet again in a post on social, and he indicated a dividend of at least $2,000 will be paid to everyone, not including high-income people, okay? So he indicated at least a $2,000 dividend will be paid, and that was on November 9th. And again, I have videos here on the channel of the president talking about it. I have videos showing the posts from the president of those posts that he made talking about this $2,000 dividend. Okay, so that's that. And then between then and now, okay, that amount of time, we've heard multiple clips out of the president talking about, oh, the tariff revenue, it's huge. It's the biggest tariff revenue we've ever seen in the country, right? Like huge, massive, hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars, stuff like this. And then we've also had multiple clips of him indicating the $2,000 dividend, the $2,000 payment will be made to us, okay? Now, he indicated a few times, he has indicated this, and again, I have videos here on the channel highlighting the clips of him talking about this, but he indicated basically sometime in the middle of 2026. And again, as I said earlier, well, let's just say it how it is. Right before the midterm election. That's what he has indicated, okay? Let's not sugarcoat this. Let's just say it how it is, okay? We know how this is being played, the game here. Anyway, right before the midterm election, and again, I'm not here to take political sides. That's not what I do in my videos, but I'm just giving you the facts as far as what's happened and what's been said about this whole thing, okay? But anyway, we've also heard that, okay? So these are all the different endorsements that the president has given literally in the last, call it, year or so, give or take a little bit. In the last year, the president has given these endorsements on the $5,000 Doge dividend, the $600 rebate, the $1,000 to $2,000 distribution / dividend to the people of America, and then also the $2,000 dividend payment that the president has mostly been talking about since November 9th when he made that post on social, okay? So he's been talking about this, as well as we've heard from all these other individuals, the Treasury Secretary, the White House economic advisors, the press secretary, as well as many different lawmakers, some in favor of it, some saying, nada, we're not doing this, it costs too much, right? So we've just heard a ton of information about this. Now, I said this a little while ago, and I'm going to say it again really quickly. If this happens outside of a recession and economic contraction, and again, we don't know if this is going to happen or not, we have to assume, well, I don't know if it's safe to assume, we shouldn't assume anything. I guess we have to take their word for it. They keep saying that we're going to get it. They're like very much insisting that they are committed to sending this out. They're committed to issuing these $2,000 payments. Okay, I'm going to be fair. I think a lot of us are pretty skeptical. But at the same time, I don't know, a part of us maybe wants to believe them a little bit and be like, okay, you keep saying it, you keep telling that you're going to do it. I guess we kind of have to believe it a little bit until we're proven otherwise, right?